Elon, I have a Tesla question. I read today, it's incredible. There was a Bloomberg article that said the following. So the setup is this. It said, since you went public, Tesla's up 22,000%, 11 quarters of sequential profitability. So hitting on all cylinders. But the public analyst...
We had cylinders.
That's a car joke. That's a combustion.
Firing, we're stepping on the gas pedal, firing on all cylinders. Turbocharged.
But analysts, when they put out their projections, okay, it's one of the most enormous bans for any company in America. The price targets for Tesla, despite all of this success, some have it at 200, some have it at 1,600. It's all over the place. You tweeted a couple months ago, Tesla's not a company, it's like 6 companies inside of a company. Like you've had to build this. Yeah, maybe more. Can you just explain to people all these companies inside this super company, just so folks have a sense of what had to be done to get here?
Okay, I mean, this question requires thought, and I'll probably be leaving out quite a few things. But if you look at, say, what does a typical car company do? What they do is they assemble vehicles and they send them to dealers, and they manage the supply chain. They might make the engine, or typically will make the engine, but most of the parts are made by suppliers. And a lot of the actual technology development is done by suppliers, and most of the vehicle software is done by suppliers. So the actual amount of real work done by car companies, what you think of sort of like a GM or Ford, is not actually that much. So they don't do sales, they don't do service. So in the case of Tesla, for example, we do our own sales and service. We don't have dealerships. Then Tesla also has by far the biggest network of superchargers, sort of the electric equivalent of gas stations. So we built an entire global supercharger network, which is still the most advanced and by far the best way to charge your car when traveling long distance, or if you live in a city and don't have the ability to charge your car because of street parking or an apartment. So the whole supercharger network, we developed the supercharger network, we deployed it. I think we have 15,000 superchargers globally. You can travel anywhere in America right now with the Tesla supercharger network. Then, in terms of vertical integration, we make the battery pack, the power electronics, the drive unit. We actually make, we're more integrated in the parts. We actually make so much of the car internally. We're vertically integrated, not necessarily because we think that there's some religious reason to be vertically integrated, but because the pace at which we needed to move was just much faster than the supply chain could move. And to the degree that you inherit the legacy supply chain, you inherit the legacy constraints, including their speed, cost, and technology. And then Tesla is as much a software company as it is a hardware company. So the software that runs in Tesla operates the car, operates the screen, does the charging. All of that stuff is developed by Tesla. And so we have sort of a Tesla OS in the car. I could go on for a long time. And then very importantly, Tesla has built an autopilot AI team from scratch. That is the best real-world AI team on Earth. And if anyone else has got a better one, I'd like to see it demonstrated in a car. The full self-driving beta at this point can very often take you with 0 interventions across the Bay Area from San Jose to Marin. So through complex traffic, it's really quite sophisticated. And I invite anyone to join the beta or look at the videos of those who are in the beta. We've got like 100,000 people in the beta, so it's not tiny. And we'll be expanding that to, probably a million people, or a million, so on that order by the end of the year. So it's...
You had this slide.
We also built a chip team because there wasn't hardware that we could run the friggin' AI on. We couldn't just fill the trunk with a whole bunch of GPUs. Because they would have taken a trunk full of GPUs that would have been very expensive and take massive amount of power and cooling just to be able to do what the Tesla designed full self-driving computer can do. And we started a chip team from scratch, designed it. It was the best in the world, and still is the best in the world several years later. And we're also then we're designing a Dojo supercomputer to be able to process all the video that's coming in from billions of miles of data, because just sort of like the way that it's very difficult to compete with Google because they have so much data and they have all the people doing searches all the time, and humanity is training it. But the same is true of Tesla. You really need billions of miles and ultimately tens of billions of miles of training data combined with a sort of a vast training computer, and then optimize inference hardware in the car, and state-of-the-art AI and training and specialized software across the board to be able to achieve a full self-driving solution.
I just want, when he opened Tesla Gigafactory, remember this 7 years ago? I'll just tell the audience a story quickly, Elon. He puts a slide up there and he says, guys, we're not actually building a factory, we're building a machine that makes machines. And he puts the layout of the factory and it looks like a chip. And it was basically like how you would actually lay out a microchip if you were, or you were like a layout engineer. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And I was like, that was when I first got it.
Yeah.
You walk on 10 and you see what's happening.
And you have an insurance company now. You're doing insurance for Tesla owners.
And an Uber competitor.
Right. And eventually a robo-taxi Uber competitor, RIP.
Yeah. I mean, insurance is like quite significant.
Now, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Because the car insurance thing is a bigger deal than it may seem. A lot of people are paying, 30-40% as much as their lease payment for the car in car insurance. So the car insurance industry is incredibly inefficient because they're just first of all, you got like so many sort of middle entities. You've got from the insurance agent all the way to the final sort of reinsurer. There's like a half a dozen companies each taking a cut, and then it's all very statistical. So that there's even if you're a very good driver, like you could be like 20 years old and a great driver, but it's all statistical. So you either can't get insurance or it's extremely expensive. But Tesla allows for real-time insurance based on how you actually drive the car. You can actually, if you drive the car in a safer way, you actually have lower insurance. So ours is insurance is based on how you actually drive, not how historically people that fit your whatever demographic have drive. And then you can close the loop around your insurance rate by simply driving better and looking at your score and lowering your insurance in real time. And people do it. It actually promotes safer driving.
I actually have had this experience because in my household, 2 people drive my car, and one of them has a 93 score and the other one does not. They have like a 60 score. And you may have met this other person, but I've been trying to work with her on the aggressive turns and stops in advance of our insurance bill, which we're hoping will go down at some point.